Hello, everybody. This is Gerald Celente, and it's Thursday, October 5th, 2023. And here are some of today's trends in the news. And remember, the trend is your friend. And we're your friend. We're giving you trends that you can't find anywhere else. Facts are there, all the data. We've been calling it, and they've been getting it wrong, but that's okay. We don't get it right all the time either. But there's nobody that gives you socioeconomic, geopolitical trends analysis and trend forecasts like we do, plus dozens of other trends. Anyway, on the market front, today in the U.S., it was flat. Yesterday, it was up a little bit. And tomorrow, they're going to come out the job numbers, see what happens there. But the decline is coming. And again, we said that the markets would go down, as our videos have showed you. In July, we said the markets would go down in September and October, and they have. And if you go back to November, we said the S&P 500 would go up at least 16%, and it did. So it's very simple. As long as Treasury yields stay high, people are going to keep getting their CDs, money market funds, and treasuries. Safe bets, 5%. Why gamble in the markets? So oil prices, right? They're 2% down today. And over the past 10 days, Brent crude has gone down $10. It hit almost $97 a barrel. We said it would hit 100. So we said this when it was down in the 70s. So it got very close to it. So why is it going down? U.S. heating oil futures fell more than 5% on expectations that a Russian fuel export ban introduced last month would be lifted soon. Okay. But here's another reason. Data on Wednesday also showed U.S. service sector slowed while the Eurozone economy shrank last quarter. So, finished motor gasoline supplied, a proxy for demand, fell last week to its lowest since the start of the year. That's why it's going down. Because the economy's going down. This isn't rocket science. And they're going to do everything they can to keep the prices up by cutting back on supply. End of story. So here's the Eurozone. The economy probably shrank last quarter, according to a survey, which showed demand fell in September at the fastest pace in almost 3 years. Oh, demand fell at the fastest pace in over 3 years? Why don't you say what 3 years ago was? You mean when they launched the COVID war and locked down the global economy and everything was turning to shit? And you know why it turned to shit? Because who's in charge? Shittyits. Yeah. Yep. Full of shit idiot. Like politicians. And that's why you want your shirt. Hey, politicians, who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? And here's the back. Yep. So, going back to this. Fastest pace in 3 years as indebted consumers reined in spending in the face of rising borrowing costs and higher prices. No kidding. What else? Wednesday's survey showed the downturn was broad-based. Well, how dare you use that term, broad? You can't say that. It was gender-based. We can't talk about it. Broad. Like in August, output declined in both services and manufacturing. Meanwhile, retail sales in the Eurozone fell much more than expected in August, official data showed, pointing to weaker consumer demand as inflation remains high. Okay. It went down in August at the height of the travel season in Europe. You got how bad it is? U.S. service sector slowed in September in the U.S. New orders fell to a 9-month low. And the non-manufacturing PMI hit 53.6. Under 50 is decline, so it's not far from there. You ready for this? This is why you subscribe to the Trends Journal and you don't read the media bullshit that they keep putting out all the time. But of course, most people are brainwashed by crap because they tune in to the stupidity. This is from yesterday's Wall Street Journal. Return to office rules aren't filling cubicles. No shit. Blow me the fuck away. I would have never known this. We've only been warning about this for 3 years. And your numbers now that, according to Castle Systems, that's with a K, your office occupancy rate in the 10 largest cities is 50.4%. So it's up from the 47 it was. But you ready for this? Okay, so you know I'm not saying this and making it up. The disappointing return rates are another blow to office owners who are struggling with vacancy rates near records. The national office vacancy rose to 19.2%. Nearly 20% of the offices buildings are vacant. Vacant. So all the businesses that depended on commuters, they're going out too. The tax money that they need, you're not getting it. The banking bust is going to happen. We're the only ones talking about it. But they're beginning to talk about it now. And you're going to hear now a lot of fucking bullshit. Bullshit. You ready? Just out yesterday, a new survey from Bloomberg found 65% of respondents say the U.S. office market won't recover without a severe crash. No fucking shit. Oh, but they're saying that now because, you ready for this? This is from MoneyWise. Let's call it dollar fucking stupid because this is arrogant shit. Again, subscribers to the Trends Journal and this channel know we've been calling the office building bust now for 3 years, over 3 years, when they locked down everything and forced people to work at home. We said the work at home trend would be for real. And there it is, office building bust, all right? We gave it one of our top trends this year because we said this is the year they're finally going to realize it. But you go back to April, March of 2020, we said this would happen and kept going with it. You ready for this? This is from MoneyWise on Yahoo, or as I say, Money Dollar Stupid. No one saw this coming. Kevin O'Leary says the persistence of remote work is now harming sectors other than just real estate. Office space has gone from a necessity to a liability in just a few short years, sparking concerns about a collapse in the commercial real estate values across the country. Again, this is yesterday. No one saw this coming, Kevin O'Leary said on Fox. These banks are going to fail, he said, because up to 40% of their portfolios are commercial real estate. This is fucking disgusting. These scumbags got I'm not talking about O'Leary, Fox, CNBC, all of them get our press releases. Fuck you, Celente. You're not a member of the club, and we don't like your attitude. because you don't swallow shit. And you don't believe in shittyits, like most of the world does. Okay. Ready for this? Weight loss drug could tank food stocks, Bloomberg. British bank Barclays is urging investors to short stocks in junk food retailers like McDonald's and Pepsi due to the surging popularity of weight loss drugs such as Ozempic or whatever the fuck it is. All right? Why don't people stop eating shit and stop taking these drugs? Because we've been writing in the Trends Journal week after week about the dangers, not that we're saying, that are being, quote, officially reported. Stop eating shit. Got it? And by the way, when you look at how much this stuff costs, the ranges goes as high as like $1,300 a month for these drugs. All right? That's what America's suffering from, blimpitis. So now you're talking over $12,000 a year that you could put in your pocket, and 61% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, so you don't have 12 grand to put out there if you eat healthy. All right? And now you're getting $12,000 extra so you could buy great stuff. And by the way, I'm not bullshitting. The first book I worked on back in the 80s was Natural Healing, when very few people were talking about that. Yep. In a note to investors on Tuesday, Barclays strategist warned that the share prices of firms such as McDonald's Corp, Pepsi Corp, and blah, 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 blah. I'm going to go through. Okay. Again, why you subscribe to the Trends Journal? We said back in November that the S&P 500 would go up at least 16% this year, and it did. It's down now because of the decline in September and August, which, again, we said, as the video shows. It's going to start happening in late September, October. The reality is going to set in. But as we said, the big decline is going to start happening in September into October. Again, we believe they're going to start going down in September and October. But don't worry, things are going to look good during the summer. You're not going to get the reality until the end of September and October. The reality is going to start hitting in mid-September. They're saying the worst is yet to come in late September and October. I maintain my forecast that late September into October, that's when you're going to see the big decline. Trends Journal had forecast that the markets would go down late September and into October. On the economic front, we had forecast that the markets would go down in September, late September, October. So we're going to see the markets go down in September. That's our forecast, and they may crash by October. Very, very possible. The economy is going to go down. The equity markets we're forecasting are going to go down. Today's the 31st. It's not going to be a happy September. But there you got it. This is from Reuters, August 23rd. S&P 500 to end 2023 up by 17%. The S&P 500 is now only at about 11%. So we said the exact opposite of what they report. And that's what I said. They blacklist me because, and I'm not being racist by saying blacklist, because they're only promoting hype. Here's a little article that just came out. U.S. jet shoots down Turkish drone over Syria. Drone flew near U.S. forces in northeast Syria. What the fuck is American forces doing in northeast Syria? And what the fuck are the Turks doing over there? Oh, you know why Americans are in northeast Syria? because they're stealing the oil. Got it? Where are the peace candidates? Now, again, the religions, they got locked you. As a Seventh-day Adventist, are waiting for the 8th day. Oh, yeah, you're all peaceniks, huh? Yeah. Oh, no, the Quakers, they died in earthquakes. They don't come anymore. They don't talk. One bullshitter after another. The Catholic priests are going after little boys, so they got no time to talk about this. And again, I've been fucked up by the Catholics. When that Sister Marie Rosaire, may she rot in hell, beat me up and perforated my middle ear, left me back. I was the stupidest kid in school. I could never get my ears wet again. Where are all your priests? Where are your nuns? Anyway, you ready now? Mainstream media, this is what separates us. Russian strike on cafe kills 51, Ukrainian officials say, as Zelensky seeks more support. Oh, more support? And again, they say, Ukrainian officials say, so it must be true, because we only should believe Zelensky. And as we say, he can play the piano with his penis. So you got to believe him. All right, here it is. So Zelensky attending a summit of about 50 European leaders in Spain to drum up support. Again, that's the language from Associated Press. To drum up support for Ukraine from Ukraine's allies, denounced the strike as a demonstrably brutal Russian crime and completely deliberate act of terrorism, unlike America's demonstrably brutal crimes, slaughtering people all of Afghanistan and Iraq. We won't talk about that. Happy days in Fallujah. But look what happened with the Republican Party when they got rid of that guy, Charlie McCarthy. Oh, no, that's right. He was a puppet, but his real name is Kevin McCarthy. I forgot. Because he made a deal with Biden to put $24 billion they're going to send to Ukraine. So now they're not getting that money. And now there are blowbacks all around Europe that they don't want to keep sending more dough. So, are they telling the truth? Well, let's see. Missile that killed 2 Poles was Ukrainian, Warsaw. Kyiv has been unwilling to assist Warsaw's efforts to probe November 29 incident, the Polish justice minister said. That was according to the Poles that, no, remember that missile back in November of 2022 that they said landed in Poland was Russian? The facts are it was Ukrainian. You ready for this? This is from the Associated Prostitutes as well on September 6th. Not that far away. Just a month ago. A Russian missile tore through an outdoor market in eastern Ukraine on Wednesday, killing 17 people and wounding dozens. Well, not true. The facts were, as reported, it was a Ukrainian missile. So as we warned, there's going just this, who knows who did this? We're not saying the Russians did it. But again, the facts show that they lied the last 2 times and they're not getting the dough. So you believe the war whores on parade that are selling this? And we warn that a false flag event is going to happen that's going to escalate the United States into this war. Be it a nuclear exchange, a nuclear plant blowing up, or a false flag attack like this may be. So that's what's going on. What else do we have? We got a lot here. Israeli settler, far-right activist spitting on Christians is a Jewish custom. I'm not making that up. That's from the Jerusalem Post. This is from yesterday. The custom of spitting near churches or monasteries is an ancient Jewish tradition. Far-right activists Elisha Yared wrote on Monday in response to a video of Orthodox Jews spitting on Christian pilgrims. The headline in the Jerusalem Post is Israeli settler, far-right activist spitting on Christians is a Jewish custom. If they were not Jewish, they wouldn't call them far-right activists. They would call them far-right, not activists. They would give them a denunciating word. Could you imagine if people started spitting on Jewish people? Oh my God, how terrible. This isn't being covered in the American news. Barely at all. Yep. A former spokesman for MK Lamor Sonha, whatever his name is, of the far-right Atzma Yehudit party, said there is even a blessing that Jews are supposed to say when seeing a church. Blessed is he who has patience for those who violate his will, which Yared described as blessings that praise God for not immediately punishing idol worshippers for their wicked deeds. This Yared, by the way, came under fire in August, after he was arrested in connection with the death of a 19-year-old. No, but that's okay. He killed a 19-year-old Palestinian. Tour guide, author, and journalist Robbie Berman, remember this is from the Jerusalem Post, corroborated Yared's statement in an interview. He said he witnessed numerous embarrassing incidents involving Orthodox Jews who spat on or harassed Christian believers as tourists. Quote, "My role is to prevent such acts," he said. "Unfortunately, it happens regularly every day." He said he once asked a 10-year-old ultra-Orthodox child why he spat on Christians. And the response was that, quote, it was a religious law. I'm tired of this religious stuff. You're all making it up as far as I'm concerned. Article from Politico. Leaked strategy shows U.S. views corruption in Ukraine as major threat. According to Politico, the confidential version of the strategy is 3 times as long as the uses even stronger language when discussing Ukraine corruption. Perceptions of high-level corruption, the confidential document warns, could undermine the Ukrainian public's and foreign leaders' confidence in the wartime government. Yeah, 89% of the Ukrainian people, according to a recent poll which we published, believe that after the war, corruption in Ukraine is the major issue. And again, the European Union had called Ukraine the most corrupt nation in Europe before the war started. Now, this is very important. The migrant crisis. We've been warning about this now for years. Austria targets illegal migrants. In a new breakthrough, EU countries give new rules to manage future migrant crisis. Crackdowns on migrants planned, Pakistan. The arrival in of migrants in big cities is forcing Democrats to change their immigration politics. Oh, by the way, the Catholics want more migrants to come in because nobody's going to church anymore. And a lot of these people down in the South, you know, Mexico and all those countries are Catholics, so they need to fill the empty pews. And now Biden's talking about building the wall, but only a couple of miles. The migrant issue is going to be a great issue. It's going to expand dramatically. It's going to be an issue in the upcoming campaign. Here's one. Germany's opposition party leader hospitalized after he was attacked. This is just yesterday. He was a member of the AfD, Alternative for Deutschland, known for its tough stance, among other things, on migrants. This is going to be a huge, huge, huge issue. But you know what no one's talking about? Two things. Over in Europe, all you shitheads, you shittyits, excuse me, you arrogant little fucks like that little prick Sarkozy and that little fucking scumbag Cameron. Oh, and the Nobel Peace of Crap Prize winner over here in the United States, we're talking about Europe, Barack Obama, that overthrew the Gaddafi government. That's right. Gaddafi warned before he was assassinated. The video's there that if you get rid of me, you're going to have a migrant crisis you're not going to handle because they're all flowing up through. It's a short trip from Libya to like Spain, you know? And that's exactly what happened. They got rid of them and the migrant crisis happened. Number two, no one's mentioning why are these people leaving their countries in droves like this? Yeah. You want to know why? It's in your Trends Journal. Trendsjournal.com, history before it happens. For the grand total of a shitty cup of coffee a day, excuse me. $2.86. Nothing. And we're giving you everything. So the more subscribers we have, the more we can do. So we're doing everything we can for you. So if you want to do more for yourself and for the betterment of society, subscribe to the Trends Journal, trendsjournal.com. And don't forget to watch the interview I did with Judge Andrew Napolitano yesterday. Another winner by the judge. Thanks for tuning in.
At the Trends Journal, the best investment you could make because it's the best investment into your mind and it can change how you look at the world.
His work is actually a gold mine. Anybody interested in politics, political trends, economic trends, social trends, cultural trends, you have to follow him, Gerald Celente.
The Trends Journal is one of the greatest sources of information, and and it really is. You're predicting these things well ahead of time. I would encourage everyone to go grab the latest copy.
Been a Trends Journal subscriber for 20 years. I just have to commend you. What you guys have put together in your latest Trends Journal, there's nothing like this out there.
Sir, everything that you predicted about the economy, you were absolutely right. So I have followed you all this time. So please take a look at the Trends Journal.
You correctly forecast that the Fed would hike rates quite aggressively, correctly said that initially gold and silver would drop as the Fed starts to raise rate to 1.5% and above. When we spoke last, Bitcoin was around 49,000. You said you expect to drop, and if it drops below 30, 35, then it could really drop.
Trends Journal, which I would encourage people to go and check out. It's actually a 200-page document, pure data-driven analysis.
Gerald Celente, the top trends forecaster in the world. Gerald, you had an interesting call back in September of last year. You said gold had bottomed, which is exactly what happened. And here we are, and we're above $1,900.
Subscribe to the Trends Journal. Read history before it happens at trendsjournal.com.